Well, like me, you may well absolutely love Jonathan Pie. He has become a sort of kind of, in an era where it's difficult to do satire, and a lot of comedians do kind of struggle to sort of nail it. But the sort of angry news reporter, Jonathan Pie, just goes from strength to strength. He's obviously lots of stuff online. He had a massive sellout tour. Whenever he plays, it's like a massive phenomenal. And now he's also got a hit podcast series called Call Jonathan Pie, which sees him struggling to deal with the unexpected success of his radio phone-in show. Now, Jonathan Pie, as I said, has just become such a huge success story. It was created back in 2016 by the writer and comedian Tom Walker. Now, Jonathan finds himself at a professional impasse as he and his colleagues struggle to find any enthusiasm for their respective jobs at the radio station. Imagine, if my boss is listening, I do not have any of these feelings. I just want to put this on the record now, Big Boss Tim, if you're listening. Let's have a clip of Tom Walker as Jonathan Pie weighing in on the power struggle between Trump and Putin.
The tech billionaire reiterated calls by the US president and Russia for Ukraine to hold new elections, saying President Zelensky is despised by his people and reiterating President Trump's assertion that he is a dictator. Neville Chamberlain must be down there now, thinking at least Neville Chamberlain didn't come back, reading from a bit of anti-Czech propaganda that Hitler had written for him.
It's so good, so good. And I'm delighted that Tom Walker joins us now. Tom, welcome.
Hello. You had to cut out some of the swearing there.
Yeah, we had to do some subtle editing, some subtle editing.
I get that a lot.
We were trying to find a clean clip. It was quite difficult, I have to say. So look, just tell us what it has been like on this kind of Jonathan Pie roller coaster. Where did you get the idea for Jonathan, and did you ever imagine that this kind of Jonathan juggernaut would appear?
No, I mean, I've been an out-of-work actor for many, many years, and I sort of decided to give up, really. But in giving up, I decided to kind of write my own stuff. And then I'd had this idea of what do news reporters say between takes. I'd had this character in my head for many years, and I just decided to make a couple of YouTube videos. It blew up. And sort of 10 years later, I'm still rinsing it, really. Recently, I mean, in the last few years, I've been doing this sitcom for BBC Sounds, which I've just launched the second series, hence why I'm talking to you now. And that's been really lovely because I think people get me and him confused a lot. And it's nice to put him in a fictional setting where he's quite clearly a fiction rather than me.
And tell us about his radio phone-in show. What's his sort of style?
He's a knockoff James O'Brien, really. But he's sort of a knockoff James O'Brien, but within really restricted BBC parameters. There's been something really lovely about. I've always thought of Jonathan as a BBC beast, but you can't really satirise the BBC unless you're on it. And I know the BBC come in for a lot of flack, but give them their due. They are really up for me. Really delving and poking at the BBC in a way that only something that's on the BBC can do, really.
Yeah, to be fair to the BBC, I mean, as you say, for all the criticism, they are quite good at kind of having a bit of self-awareness about kind of taking the mick out of them, or letting, as you say, people take the mick out of them.
Yeah, definitely.
And look, I mean, the thing that I think is so brilliant about Jonathan Pie is, I've worked around lots of newsrooms and I'm with a lot of reporters doing various things. And it is actually so true that the reporter, the earpiece goes in, piece to camera, it's very straight down the line. And it is actually true that the minute that, they're off air, they do normally rant about. I mean, is this because you saw this happening in real life, or did you imagine that reporters did this?
I would sometimes watch a newsreader, particularly a newsreader reading the news and reading the script, and I wonder if, as they're reading it, they think that's nonsense. That's just the line I've been told to read, and what do they really think politically? Because particularly if you're on a British mainstream channel. You have to have balance and impartiality in inverted commas, and humans aren't balanced and impartial. Everyone has a point of view, but I think we all relate to Pi because we all have those different personas: the on air, the at work, and the at home persona. And I think that thing of being off air and on air is a really good sort of example. It's an exaggeration of that, but we all have those moments throughout the day,
Yeah.
where we swap between personas. Yeah.
It's interesting. We did it in our sort of comedy news review earlier. There was a piece about how the extent to which most British people go to sort of avoid any kind of conflict, particularly at work, but then sort of explode in other ways. So I think I think that's why sort of Jonathan Pie touches a nerve. But he also touches a nerve because his rants obviously tap into the complete frustration that many of us have about politics. And with everything that's happened, particularly over I was going to say the last few months, but even the last few days, I mean, do you get overwhelmed by everything, or is all of this just great for business for you, or even you as a satirist, do you sometimes think, oh my God, this is just like all too much to bear?
There is an oddity that I, like anybody else, watch the news and something awful happens, or Trump does something preposterous, or something really terrible happens in the world, or politically something really cretinous has happened, and we all feel it, don't we? We can feel negatively about something bad that's happened, but I've got this little added layer on top of going, oh, I might have to write something about that. But what I would say is that if I'm wandering around for a day or two because Trump said something dreadful and I'm going around going, oh, God, I can't believe you said that, I've at least got a way of exercising that feeling by writing it down, getting it out. So there's a catharsism for me, but I also think there's a catharsism for the viewer, because they've been thinking this for a couple of days and then they watch one of my rants and they go, that's what I think.
Yeah,
and
no, it is. You're providing a lot of therapy. Now, when Jonathan Pie was railing against the last government, the Conservative government, many people might have said it was like kind of shooting fish in a barrel. I don't expect you to give away your politics or anything, but how does Jonathan Pie find it with the new Labour government?
Well, it was always going to be an adjustment. I mean, in the run-up to the last general election, I made it pretty clear that Pie would be voting whichever way he could to get rid of the Conservatives. I think someone like me, I'm playing a lefty. I am on the left wing of politics. It's been a bit of an adjustment because technically Labour is Pie's side. So in the new series of the podcast, they keep telling him, have a go at Labour. He's like, I'm not ready yet. And that's actually sort of a reflection of me, really. But I think by the end of the series, he finally snaps and Labour come in for it. But I honestly thought a couple of days after the last election, 2 days afterwards, people are going, well, that's it. What are you going to do? Or are you going to start having a go at them then? And I thought, you know what? I think 6 months grace is slightly classier for me to kind of give them 6 months. But I think enough time has passed for me to start, sharpening my pen.
Oh, yes. We're now at 9 months. We're now at 9 months, I think. Well, look, Tom, it's been such a pleasure speaking to you. I am such a fan of yours. And I'm also very good friends with a brilliant comedian who supported you, Jojo Sutherland, when you were doing your big tour.
Yes, she is. She's my tour support, not just on stage but off stage. She follows me around the country. She's
like your support, your emotional support therapy.
She really is. But yeah, Jojo Sutherland, she's an amazing comic.
Yeah. Well, look, it's such a pleasure speaking to you. And so many congratulations. Jonathan Pie is just a complete phenomenon. And the first four episodes of the new series of Call Jonathan Pie are now available on BBC Sounds. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Tom.
And wherever you get your podcasts, if you're not a fan of the BBC, you can get them on all platforms.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, take care and good luck with the show. That's Tom Walker, a.k.a. Jonathan Pie.